Welcome to the Relationship Enrichment Center, Beit Tikkun, House of Restoration. Everybody say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are here studying the understanding the end time. And we're going into, again, closing out what we were teaching before I left for vacation on the one world order. And we're going to get into tonight about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So let's look at Revelation 13 and see what God is saying to us in these last days. We welcome all of you who are watching via the internet. And just to let you know, those who are watching, we are, and just to make an announcement, a public announcement, we are in the, right now, the starting stages of really implementing streaming to the highest level. We're going to be going to streaming, and we're going to be doing it first class. We've got already a person is going to be helping us do that, structuring everything. We're going to buy some equipment to do it. Because again, we're going to have to buy some equipment, a new computer we're going to have to buy. But we're going to do all that so we can get the streaming out. We want to get the word out through the world. Amen? How many of you know we just don't, just want to reach Tampa? We want to reach the world. Right? We want to reach the United Nations. Amen? Amen? So hopefully they will get the right wisdom and do the right thing. So we're going to be doing that, so get ready. Revelation 13. Let's see how all of this played out. Let's see how all of this played out. All this stuff that's going on, United Nations, Russia, Germany, all this stuff. Daniel chapter 7 basically described all of that. In Revelation 13, verse 3. I saw one of the head of the beast seen wounded beyond recovery, but the fatal wound was healed. The whole world marveled at this miracle and gave allegiance to the beast. Everybody say amen? Amen. Now, we see, and we talked about 7 heads. And the 7 heads, it was 1 of lion, 1 of the bear, remember? 4 of the leopard, 1 for the 10 horned beast, right? So if you read that, that's what it's talking about. Now notice, it does not say that the beast or the Antichrist was killed. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Amen.
It said he was wounded.
Yeah. Right.
He was wounded. And he was wounded. But now, it's almost impossible to understand which one of the heads was wounded. Everybody say amen?
Amen.
Now, the key is that we have to know what the heads are. Okay? So let's review again. Everybody say 1 for the lion.
1 for the lion.
Come on, say it with me. 1 for the lion.
1 for the lion.
1 for the bear.
1 for the bear.
4 for the leopard. And 1 for the 10 horned beast.
1 for the 10 horned beast.
So which head was wounded? And it said wounded, and and it says beyond recovery or wounded to death. It's kind of playing with words. Everybody say amen. Now, watch this now. Let me show you what's going on. After World War II, Stalin, of course, had Russia. After World War II, Russia, Germany, Britain, and the United States got together. So you have Russia with Stalin. You have Churchill with Great Britain. You have, again, FDR with the United States. And they divided up Germany in half. And they had East Germany and West Germany, right? So Germany, again, and the reason they did that was because they really wanted to do a number on Germany. They wanted to get Germany to the point that dividing it up, that they will never regain the power that they once had. Because Germany had great power.
Amen.
And guess what? Germany is rising up.
Yes. Right.
Right? So, and then many East Germany started to flee to the West, and it was going back and forth, and remember the Berlin Wall and all that controversy. And then that's when the USSR declared on August 14, 1961, to build what is called the Berlin Wall. And the 29-mile wall that divided East Germany and West Germany also was known as the Iron Curtain. And they established and they have lookout posts all the way through Europe, separating Eastern Europe from the west. And so this leads to, again, what I'm talking about in Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. So, say it with me. One of the heads, write this down. One of the heads that was wounded severely was the Third Reich. That's the head that was wounded. Remember, there was also the First Reich, remember? Yep. The Second Reich and the Third Reich. The Third Reich was the one that was headed by Hitler and Germany. Now, let me say something. The Fourth Reich is rising. Amen. Get ready. You're going to see all this in prophecy and history. We know that a beast in the Bible, prophecy represents what? Come on now. You remember your notes? Are you taking notes? A beast in prophecy represents what? A nation. It represents a nation or a kingdom. And multiple heads on a beast represents the number of times that kingdom will rise and fall. Are you following me? Amen. Okay? That's how you have to read this prophecy. So, if the third head was the one that was divided when Hitler's Third Reich was cut in half, and when the deadly wound is healed, that will cause that one government beast, and you must realize that the Berlin Wall had even a special role to play, even when it was coming down. And when that wall came down, watch this now, if you understand history, when that wall came down, it started the beginning of the New World Order. Everybody say amen. Amen. They're coming down the Berlin Wall, the 29-mile wound that was healed. The Bible says that one of the heads was wounded to death. Now watch this. The fall of the Berlin Wall is actually a deep wound in Europe. And it was prophesied 2,000 years ago in Revelation 13. We read Revelation 13, I bet you read that 1,000 times. Never saw that, did you?
Right.
So the division of the third head, watch this now. The division of the third head, of course, is Germany, right? The leopard. The wound that just won't heal, it was a deadly wound, but the deadly wound was healed. So what happened when the deadly wound was healed? Again, that was a sign at the start of the New World Order. And when the Berlin Wall came down, and if you recall in 1989, just shortly after the wall came down, Mikhail Gorbachev, come on, President George Bush, and Pope John II, within 20 days of the fall of the Berlin Wall, they met at Malta. And they had a meeting. And they came out of those meetings on November 30th through December 1st, 1989, and they announced the birth of the New World Order, including the Pope. Everybody say amazing. Amen. Say amazing. Amazing. We don't know history. Come on. You got... Come on, man. You know the beginning. Well, come on. You know the end from the beginning. Right? Everybody say you know the end. From the beginning. You got to study your history. You got to know. History, I thank God, man. When I was in school, history was one of my favorite subjects. I loved it. I mean, I still study history today. I love to read anything about history when it comes to biographies about people. I get turned on with biographies. I want to know how people tick. In fact, when I was in school, believe it or not, I don't know how many reports I made on the Third Reich. I studied Hitler. I knew, how people don't realize that Hitler, his mother, when he was raising him, he wanted him to become a priest. A priest. He became an artist. He was an artist. He was a painter. And when he went to World War I, he was only a corporal in the army. And he was very rebellious in his own way. And he felt that all of his commanders in chief, all the colonels and people that was telling him what to do, were all Jews. And there was proof today that there was bloodline in Hitler about being Jewish. But he hated it. That doesn't mean anything because Karl Marx was a Jew and he's the one that wrote the Communist Manifesto. So it's so amazing that if you look at the Bible, and you compare it to history, it's all coming to pass. I mean, it's all coming. Now we understand why all of this is happening. All of this is shown to us in the prophecies of the Bible. Everybody say amen. Amen. God has made available to us to understand. Check this out. God profoundly put it in the Bible. How can you say this was written by man? I mean, God used different secretaries. Right? 39 of them, as a matter of fact. He used 39 different secretaries to write for him. These people didn't write. Daniel didn't write that. Matter of fact, in the book of Daniel, he asked God, tell me what I wrote. He even asked God, show me what I wrote. I don't know, I'm writing this for you, but I don't know what I'm saying. 7 heads, 11. What the heck are you talking about? I never saw 11 with 7 heads. You know, whatever, 4 heads, whatever. But what I'm saying, Daniel, it was just a secretary. So again, how could people ever even say that this was written by man? Now, so God has been available for us to understand the end from the beginning. Now, let me go on. In 1991, if you study history, if you go back, look it up. Go to YouTube and go to Dick Cheney, 1981. And Dick Cheney said, the world, watch this now, in 1991, this is what he said. Dick Cheney said, the world is in a new era, a new world order of promise. A new era of promise. That started in 1989 with the fall of the Berlin Wall. So he knew that a new era of promise started in 1989, Dick Cheney, with the fall of the Berlin Wall. And that was the birth of the New World Order. Now, Merrill Lynch wrote, watch this, Merrill Lynch wrote, November 9, 1999, the world is 10 years old today. Remember, 1989, the fall of the Roman Empire. Of the wall, Berlin Wall. Right? They actually said, Merrill Lynch said, the world is 10 years old today, and it was birthed when the wall of Berlin fell. So he was basically saying that the whole new world was only 10 years old in 1999. What was he saying? The birth of a new world order. Now, in Time magazine, a person by the name of Stroke Talbot, in 1992, had an article. And he called the birth of a global nation. He said in the 21st century that the national sovereignty will no longer exist, and we will answer to a global authority. Now, who is Stroke Talbot? Everybody say, do you know who he is? You know who he worked for? President Clinton. Bill Clinton. They believe in the one world order. So does his wife. And we're thinking of voting for him? Now, think about it. He worked for him for 7 years. He was Bill Clinton's roommate, and both were, how many of you know that Bill Clinton was a very smart guy? Very smart man. They were both Rhodes Scholar in London, England, and now he is the president. This guy is the president of the Brook Institute, and watch this now, and Susan Rice worked under him. And who is Susan Rice today? She is the ambassador of the UN. Huh? All, come on. All being set up. So, a man who believed, now think about it. She worked, and this is her, and this is her mentor. The guy who believes in one world order. That worked with Clinton. And guess what? Again, he's the ambassador of the United Nations. And what is the goal of the United Nations? One world order. Okay. Are you ready for the horse? Let's look at this. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation 6. The title of my message is Islam and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And the reason I call it Islam, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, because you're going to see Islam embedded in the Four Horsemen. I believe that this is one of the most important subjects that we have today. And how many of you know that Islam, I'm going to prove to you without a shadow of a doubt, and I've said it before, but I'm going to prove it to you even more, that Islam is in the Bible. It's a prophecy that was written before Islam became Islam. If you recall 9/11, 2001, when those planes flew into the World Trade Center, and suddenly the attention, think about it, if you notice, we had Muslims around, but the attention of the Muslims, all the eyes of the world were fixed on Islam.
Amen.
And many of us knew very little about Islam. How many of you didn't know much or nothing at all before 9/11?
Amen.
Come on. Most of us didn't know. Even though they were Muslims, they were Arab nations, but we didn't know. I think would be that capable of doing it. Every Muslim, if you know, as we study Islam, focus on Mecca and Saudi Arabia. That's their goal. Like we as Israelites focus on Israel to the east, and that's where the east is. This church was actually built for us.
Amen.
Because when we bought this church, I didn't even know that altar was facing Jerusalem.
Amen.
So, again, just as we pray to the east for the peace of Jerusalem, they pray to Mecca. And the Quran, of course, and every Muslim, at least one in their lifetime, is asked to make a aliyah, or make a journey to Mecca. Because that's Islam's heartland, and the land of Muhammad, who wrote the Quran, which is, of course, is Islam's holy book. Now, can this religion, let me ask you this, can this religion be absent from the prophecies of the Bible? Absolutely not. We could find, we could find it today in so many different ways. But Islam is in the Bible. Everybody say that Islam is in the Bible. Now, the word Islam, I don't know, maybe I haven't emphasized this a lot, but write the word Islam so you know what it is. So the word Islam is the word submission. That's what it means, submission. So, again, there are, right now, let me tell you, there are about 1.3 to 1.8. It's hard to, because they haven't babies like crazy. The average American family is having 1 or 2 children. The average Islam or Muslim family is having anywhere between 8 and 12. The average, so when I say the census about Islam, is about 1.3 to 1.8 billion Muslims in the world today. And today we will see that God prophesied about Islam 600 years before Islam ever existed. Now the prophecy is a very familiar prophecy, which is, again, I'm going to show you the prophecy. It's in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But many people, including pastors, I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact, many people, including pastors, don't truly know what the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse is all about. I challenge you. Ask them. Talk to a pastor. If they're a pastor, ask them. If they're full of what? It's in the Bible. But many people, again, they don't understand what this is about. But today, everybody say today. This is somebody say, and you too. All right? You will learn more. Come on, say you will learn more than most pastors in the body of Christ. I'm telling you right now, you will learn more today than most pastors in the body of Christ.
Amen. Amen.
Now, the book of Revelation, write this down so you understand it. The book of Revelation has the structure of 3 groups of 7. How many know that? 7 is very significant. 3 groups of 7. We have 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 vials. The 4 horsemen are the first of the 4 seals of the book of Revelation. And we find this prophecy in Revelation 6, verse 1. Let's go there. And I watched the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals on the scroll. Then I heard one of the 4 living beings saying with a voice like thunder, "Come." Let me stop. Let's read it together. Verse 1 of Revelation 6. As I watched, come on, say it with me. As I watched, the Lamb broke the first of the 7 seals on the scroll. Then I heard one of the 4 living beings say with a voice like thunder, "Come." All right? Now, understand, let's make sense of it. All right? First of all, then I heard one of the 4 living beings. What are the 4 living beings? Anybody tell me? Anybody have an answer, have an idea what the 4 living beings are? Okay, I'll tell you. The 4 living beings, matter of fact, according to Ezekiel, are cherubims. Cherubim. The living beings are cherubim. Sometimes they may be even referred to beasts. But they actually are referred to as cherubims. Cherubims they're not little angels that you see in Valentine's postcard. They're angels. Okay? Revelation 6:2 says, I looked up and saw a white horse standing there, and his rider carried a bow and a crown. No, not sure. It's a rider carried a bow, and a crown was placed on his head, and he rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. Sounds like him, don't it? It's not. All right? We're going to show you what he is. Verse 3, when the Lamb broke the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living being say, "Come." Then another horse appeared, a red one. Its rider was given a mighty sword and authority to take peace. Watch this. To take peace from the earth. And there was war and the slaughter of everywhere. Alright? Now let me kind of stop, and I'm not going to go too fast. I don't want you to get your brain get shorted out on me real quick. Now you will learn that these colors are very critical. So I need you to listen to me. Pay attention. Shut off your cell phone. If you got to go to the bathroom, don't go. Don't get up. All right? Don't just pay attention. You know, I met somebody that was so poor they couldn't pay attention.
Oh my God.
Everybody say pay attention.
Pay attention.
Atención. Every color has a significance. Get ready. Now, let's look at, I'm going to skip horse 1. I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 3. When the Lamb broke the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living being saying, "Come." Then another horse appeared, a red one. Its rider was given a mighty sword and authority to take peace from the earth and there was war and slaughter everywhere. All right? Now, horse number 3, if you look at, this is again horse number 2, but the horse number 3, if you look at verse 5, when the Lamb broke the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living being saying, "Come." I looked up and saw a black horse, and his rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Wow, scale. What are you going to do with a pair of scales? I'm going to show you. Then I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, "A loaf of wheat, bread, or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. And don't waste the olive oil and the wine." Does it make sense? You're going to remember. Ask the pastor what that means. You go, "What?" They won't know. Okay? All right. Now the 4th horse in verse 7. When the Lamb broke the 4th seal, I heard 1/4 living being say, "Come." And I looked up and I saw a horse. Color was a pale green. Its rider was named Death, and his companion was the grave. There were 2 given. These 2 were given authority. Watch this, over 1/4 of the earth, to kill with the sword and famine and disease and wild animals. All right. So you see the 4 colors, right? Everybody say we see 4. All right? Everybody say we see 4. So we have seen 4 horses. The white horse, say the white horse.
White horse.
Red horse.
Red horse.
Black horse.
Black horse.
And the pale horse.
Yeah.
Now, again, the question is, what does this all mean? To understand, you have to see another prophecy written in the Torah. Because every time you read the book of Revelation, everything that was written in the book of Revelation was already written in the Old Testament.
Amen.
Okay? So you got to go to Zechariah chapter 6. Zechariah 6. Alright? Starting in the 1st verse. Now, isn't this, I don't know, does it mean something? Have you noticed that Revelation 6, 1 through 8 talks about the 400 of the apocalypse? And Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1 through 8 also speak about the 400 of the apocalypse? Well, God he's got a sense of humor, don't he? He says, you're going to find it. Alright? Alright. Now, in Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1, then I looked up again and saw 4. Now here, instead of the horses, they call them chariots, coming from between 2 bronze mountains. The first chariot was pulled by red horses, the second black horses, the third white horses, and the 4th a powerful damp gray horse, which is also a reference to, again, a green. Because green is also a reference also, and I'm going to show you how that pans out when you look at gematria and look at the Hebrew meaning of the word. How it means sometimes gray, and to them it looks like gray, it looks like it's a green horse. And what are these, my Lord? I asked the angel who was talking with me. How many of you know Zechariah didn't know either?
No. Amen.
No.
Alright? Zechariah was just told by God what to write. The angel replied, there are 4 spirits. Underline that. So the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are 4 spirits. And those 4 spirits are in the world today. Right now. Amen? 4 spirits. Now Zechariah, again, saw the same color of horses, but he saw, again, pulling chariots. Now, in Zechariah, there was a white horse, a red horse, a black horse, and a damp gray, again, and that's because, again, it's a grizzled gray horse, so again, it looks like it refers to, in gematria and in the Hebrew meaning of the word gray. If you look up the word gray, it means a pale green horse, okay? So let's go back to Revelation. All right, so you see, now, that, and we'll go back to that, you'll see that it's being referenced also. So before it was written already in Revelation 6, it was already written in Zechariah. Okay? So people ask you, well, how do you cross-reference that? And sometimes you have to see Scripture. Scripture sometimes confirms Scripture. Okay? So Revelation 6, again. Now notice that these four horsemen are what again? Spirits. Come on, say it with me. Say four spirits. They're four spirits. Okay? Now, let's think what this means. Think about it. Let me ask you a question. I think I already gave you the answer already. Are these spirits in the world today? Yes. Now, let me explain. There is today what is called an international spirit. Write that down. International spirit. That influences what people believe. And how they live. And what they even do. Alright? And it's actually called the red spirit. The red spirit. I'm going to show you this. Red spirit. We have red China. We have red Russia. We have red Romania. The red horse is communism. The official color of communism is what?
Red.
Red. Now, let's go back to Revelation 6:4. Then another horse appeared, a red one. His rider was given a mighty sword and authority, watch this now, to take peace, of the line, to take peace from the earth. Break up your sentences. To take peace from the earth. Now, notice the red horse was given what? What was it given? Power. Say power.
Power.
It was given power to do what? To take peace
From the earth.
from the earth. Now, let me ask you a question. You know, common sense. Some people don't have common sense. But I'm going to hope you get into it. Common sense. Has communism taken peace from the earth?
Amen.
Yes.
Right? In Havana, in Cuba, Cuba was, you know, until they became communist, there's no peace in Cuba. Right? Not bad in Cuba. Why? Because Castro sold out to Russia.
Amen.
Right? So communism hasn't ever created peace. So this prophecy has come true. The red horse
Amen.
has taken power. And taking that power has taken the peace from the earth. When you study its history, from the very start of communism, the Bolshevik Revolution. Have you ever studied the Bolshevik Revolution? The Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 was one of the most terrible wars that took place. And it took place, and it took peace from the earth. And I'm telling you right now, it's still a repercussion from that. Absolutely, it was a horrible revolution. Then we have the Chinese Revolution, when the communists took China over China. Remember, China wasn't over communism.
That's right.
In 1949. Then we have Korea.
Yes.
North Korea is going to be, and watch North Korea. It's going to be, again, another thorn on the side.
Amen.
How about Vietnam? I've been there. I know what Vietnam is about. Vietnam, before I even got there, they had so many people fighting Vietnam. They were so weary about war, they were fighting for hundreds of years. We just got there and tried to close it out, but you know, that was a political war. more or less.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were fighting with our handcuffs on. We couldn't do hardly anything.
Right.
All right? How about the Congo?
Yes.
Huh? How about the Congo? Communism in Africa. Everywhere communists took over, it was always led by a revolution.
Amen.
So they have the power to take peace from the earth, right?
Yes.
Notice, in the latter part of verse 4, watch this now. In the latter part, there was, in other words, they took peace, but there was war and slaughtered everywhere. Show me where communists have not taken and have been slaughtered. Huh? All right? They have slaughtered everywhere. Now let me show you how this prophecy has come to pass. Now, God wrote this 2,000 years before Russia was even Russia.
Amen.
Huh? Okay? So tell me the Bible is that real. Come on. What's today? Now, when you look at this, Joseph Stalin, Hitler killed 6 million. Joseph Stalin killed 20 million.
That's right.
Of his own Russians.
Amen.
20 million. Then when the Chinese were taken over by the communists in 1949, then till now, there has been 60 million Chinese killed in cultural revolution.
Amen.
60. Tell me the prophecy has to come to pass. So is it true that they are killing one another?
Yes.
Because it says, come on, look at it. And there was war and slaughter everywhere.
Amen.
All right? Okay? So, again, notice in Revelation 6:4 that the one, or the red horse, was given what also?
Sword.
Huh? A sword. What do you mean by sword? Underline sword. Do you know what that means? A sword. Now, but it says a mighty sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just a sword. You can have a sword and not be mighty. A mighty sword. Now, does communists have great military power?
Yes.
Yes.
Does China have?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Now, how many of you would like to fight China and Russia at the same time?
No.
Wow.
Huh? I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea.
Amen. That is not a good idea.
Huh? That's not a good idea. No thank you, bro. Now, the flag of the Soviet Union is red, right?
Right.
With a hammer and a sickle. And red, write this down, red is the official color of communism. Also, socialism.
Right. Amen.
Also, socialism. Okay, now let me explain what, okay, communism is the political ideology. Socialism is the economic system.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have the economic system, socialist, and you have the communist ideology. Okay? But they work hand in hand.
Amen.
In a way, communism is an extreme form of socialism, and God prophesied, God is so awesome. God prophesied that one of these belief systems, watch this, will dominate in the end times, and it will be the red power. Or the power of communism. Socialism is the agenda of our current president. Where all individuals have access to basically, remember, basic articles of consumption. That's what socialism is all about. Obamacare is all Obamacare is socialized medicine.
Amen.
Huh? Food stamps. It has gone out of control. So socialism, watch this now, also endorses freedom of religion. And when he became president, he called all religions to one place. And they all prayed. So in other words, this is where God is saying that in the last days, we're going to have a power to deal with. And the power is the communist power. Amen. Now, let's move on to the black horse. Write down black horse, black spirit. Black spirit. Okay? So we have a red spirit that we're dealing with right now.
Amen.
Everybody say amen?
Amen. Amen.
Right? Now we're going to have a black spirit. What is that black spirit? Huh? Now, remember I say spirits. Zechariah says these are 4 spirits. Prophesied in Zechariah, prophesied in Revelation. So in other words, the spirit is another belief system which is, again, operating today, which is a counterpart of communism. Now, actually, if you understand, during the Cold War, what do you mean by Cold War? Huh? Well, because it becomes an economic war. It becomes a socialist type war. In other words, you're not actually fighting with armies, but you're fighting against, come on, spying. I mean, all the stuff that goes on, you see all that. So, now, during the Cold War, now watch this, the last 60 years, it has been, and this is what the Cold War was about, it is a contest between capitalism and communism. Right? I bet, did you learn this in school?
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. Are they teaching this in college at all? Yeah. And anybody go to college? Are they teaching this still?
Yes.
Come on. I learned this in high school. Let's look at the riding of the black horse. Now, Revelation 6, when the Lamb broke the third seal, I heard the third living being saying, "Come." I looked up and saw a black horse, and his rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Did he have a sword?
No. No. A scale.
Huh? He had a what?
Scales.
Scales. All right, like it's like you ever see the symbol of justice, blind with the scale? You know, that's what he had. Okay, he didn't come. He wasn't coming to weigh potatoes and onions. 5 pounds worth. All right, so he had a scale. So in other words, he had a pair of balances. All right, let's look at it like that. Balances. All right. Now, what does this represent? Balances.
Control.
Trade and commerce. Come on, man, you guys got to do some history, economics, trade and commerce. In other words, well, watch this now. What motivates capitalism? Trade and commerce. In other words, a free enterprise. The free enterprise, so in other words, that's the whole spirit that motivates free enterprise, is the whole spirit behind capitalism. Yeah. Revelation 6:6. And I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, "A loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay, and don't waste the olive oil and the wine." Especially the wine. Don't lose the wine. That's Shabbat. All right? Now, everybody say trade and commerce.
Trade and commerce.
All right? Say capitalism.
Capitalism.
Right? That's what motivates capitalism. So it sounds like to me, if you look at Revelation 6, verse 6, if you look at it, that sounds to me like a prophetic stock market report.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Okay? It looks like, how many Dow Jones are down and, AT&T is up. Everybody's looking at the stock market. Some people follow like a Bible. Doesn't concern me at all.
Amen.
I follow the scales of God's government more than anything else. That's what's going to stand at the end. All that stock market is going to go down.
Amen.
All right, so much for that. If you remember when Bill Clinton was running for the presidency in 1992, he had a bumper sticker. And on the bumper sticker he said, "Is the economy stupid?" Is the economy stupid? Because he ran on the economy. Now, if you understand, he ran against who? You don't know, you don't remember. George Bush Sr. Right? George Bush Sr. had 90% approval rate 1 year prior to losing to Clinton. But he ended up losing the election to Bill Clinton because the economy was down. And in capitalism, come on, if you live in a capitalism country, everything pivots on the economy.
Amen.
People vote their pocketbooks in a capital country. So in Revelation 6:6, it says, "Don't hurt the oil and the wine." The oil.
Come on.
Amen.
Listen, you can do almost anything, and both presidents have done almost everything. But you hurt the economy and you won't get elected.
Yep.
Because if you hurt the economy, people will vote you out of office. Now, is there any more proof that capitalism is the black spirit? Do I have to prove anything else? Is the black spirit capitalism? Say yes. So write down the black spirit is capitalism. Again, if you go back to history again, if you study the history of the elections, even in Germany, 1966, and Germany had been almost like depivoted in Europe. They were still trying to come back from the Cold War. I mean, dividing of Germany and all that stuff. Because they were very prominent in German and European history. And Germany, if you ever study Germany, I've studied Germany for many years. If you study Germany for almost 4,000 years, they reigned powerful. 4,000 years. Most of the emperors of the Holy Roman Empire have come from Germany. So it's interesting to know what's going on in a place like that, or the heart of Europe, because Germany has again, is going to be rising up to the Fourth Reich. And again, I believe Germany is going to be rising up more and more in these last days. Now, if you understand there were two major parties during Germany's time, and there was a Socialist Party and a Social Democratic Party, and there was a battle between these two. And again, what was going on, it was just trying to win the balances in that area. And there was a grand coalition going on. And the two major parties were coming together, and none of them could really take its force. But they decided to do what? They decided because these two parties were not able to come together, they lost. They had about maybe 40% approval rating on each one, and there was not a majority. So they had to come up with something. So they formed what is called the Union, write this down, the Union of Black and Red. But then I just say the spirit talk.
Black and red.
Black and red.
Red is communism. Black is capitalism. They formed a union that served two. A balance. A scale of balance.
Oh, Lord.
It was a marriage of convenience. But a match nonetheless. Now, Time Magazine, without knowing, think about it, I read these articles. Time Magazine was explaining the prophecy in Revelation and wrote an article and used black as a symbol of capitalism, just like they were using red as a symbol of communism or socialism. So black is the official color, all right? Everybody say black.
Black
is the official color of capitalism, just like red is the official color of communism. But the amazing thing is that Almighty God knew this 2,000 years ago.
Amen.
Huh? And He's talking to us today about communism and capitalism, which was not even known. It wouldn't even exist. Now, let's go to the white horse. I think I have to do the white horse. I may finish it. They're going to leave the pale green for last. And I won't do it today.
Oh.
I won't have time. I got 10 minutes. And don't rush me. I'm going to say the best for last. Anybody hot here? I'm hot. Let's get coming lower the air conditioner a little bit, and if you're cold, grab yourself and get somebody else. Can we lower that a little bit? Because I'm getting hot. Is that fan on? All right, that's fine. Let's go maybe a degree or two. I see people fanning. It's hot. I'm up here perspiring. I thought I was menopause. All right, let's go to Revelation. Now let's go back to Revelation 6:2. So everybody say black,
Black.
capitalism,
Capitalism.
red horse,
Red horse.
communism.
Communism.
Now the white horse.
Now the white.
Oh, let's see what the white horse is all about. I'll tell you right now, this is not Lone Ranger or George Washington. They all have white horses. Right?
No, leave it.
And even Yeshua had a white horse. This ain't him. Okay? Remember, this is a counterfeit. Alright? Revelation 6:2. I looked up and saw a white horse standing there. His rider carried a bow, and a crown was placed on his head. He rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. Alright? Everybody say amen?
Amen.
Now, again, if you study, you got to study colors, you got to study, these systems that are going on in the world today. There's a book that came out many years ago. A guy wrote it by the name of Paul Blanchard, called Communism. Watch this now. And this was not even a prophetic book. It was a political science book. A book called Communism, Democracy, and Catholic Power. Now this book describes already, if you look at, now this guy wrote this book, not a believer, political science professor, wrote this book, and it was about the three horsemen already of the four. Capitalism, communism, and Catholicism. Now, in this book, he was describing that deep, watch this, and if you look up, you go online, I think you look it up online, You can actually get a copy of it online. Look it up. He describes this. He said that these three powers or belief systems will control nations and people. And he said almost every conflict, this is a direct quote from his book, almost every conflict between nations in modern history has been produced by conflicts among these three powers: communism, democracy, and Catholicism.
Come on. That's right.
There's another book, watch this. He was actually a friar. Friar is a priest, a monk in the Catholic Church. He left the church. He wrote a book, The Keys of This Blood. The Keys of This Blood. And his name is Malachi Martin. What a name, right? Malachi. And in this book he said, there are three and only three political powers. Watch this now. He almost said the same thing that this guy said. That there are three political powers with the necessary doctrine and structure to rule a one-world government: communism, Catholicism, democracy. Or capitalism. So let's look at the white horse. It is very well known, the tradition of the Catholic Church, that the Pope normally wears what?
White.
Can I say that?
Amen.
He dresses in white. The Pope's helicopter, white. Do you remember when John Paul II was almost assassinated in 1981? And after that they built him a bulletproof vehicle. They call it the Pope-mobile. The color?
White.
Thank you. White, for those watching. Alitalia Airlines supplies the Pope with a jet plane, and the color?
White.
White. And it's called Shepherd's One. Now, if the Pope had a horse, what color do you think it would be?
White.
Good, good. You want that color. So let's look at Revelation 6:2. And it says, I looked up and saw a white horse standing there. Its rider carried a bow, and a crown was placed on his head. Right? Now, everybody say a bow. Underline bow. But have you noticed no arrows?
Amen.
Or why would you want with a sword, with a bow, with no arrows? Alright? Now, the question is this. Now, he does have, by having a bow, he does have weapons. So he's describing a weapon, but not the traditional weapons that we all know of guns and bullets and tanks and rockets. Okay? Now, also notice that he has a crown. Right? And it was given unto him. Now the Pope truly never wore a crown until 1960 AD. And his name was Pope Gregory. And he wore it, and it was a triple crown, and that crown is still in the Vatican Museum in Rome. That crown is still there. Now, so every single thing so far, how many people would agree that every single thing that I talked about today matches up in the prophecy?
Amen.
Any confusion? Anybody confused? No. Alright? Now, let's review what we have learned so far. We saw a white horse. Say a white horse.
White horse.
Red horse.
Red horse.
Black horse.
Black horse.
And a pale horse.
Pale horse.
Now, so the first three horses represent, watch this, the three major powers in the world, and we saw this in Zechariah chapter 6 and Revelation chapter 6.
Amen.
Right? And the same colors of horses are used, right?
Yes.
So the white horse is what? Catholicism. Catholicism. Now, Catholicism, which is one of the major belief systems of the world.
Amen.
Right? The red horse is another major belief system in the world.
Amen.
Capitalism, or the black horse, is a major influence in the world, or belief system, right? So you agree that these seals have been open for a long time.
Oh, yes.
They just didn't open now. They've been open.
Amen.
Huh? Huh? Now, a lot of people, they don't understand this, especially pastors with the Greek mindset. A lot of people believe that these seals will only be open during the 7-year tribulation period.
Right.
They've been open.
Amen.
Where you been? Huh? So that doesn't hold any water here. Right? We know that Catholicism became the first religion in what? 325 AD?
Right.
Yes.
Huh? The first religion.
Amen.
And communism means, and communism, Catholic, but the Catholic or Catholicism means what? Universal.
Amen.
Universal religion. Protestant means what? Protestant Catholic.
Amen.
Now, and communism, oh wait a minute, communism just started, no, wait a minute. Communism was written in 1847 by Karl Marx.
Yes.
Huh? Matter of fact, July 1847, and capitalism, you think capitalism just started? Did we capitalize on capitalism? Capitalism has been around since the Middle Ages.
Amen.
Matter of fact, capitalism has been a powerful force since the 14th century and can be traced in Western Europe even during the Middle Ages. So what did we learn from this? We learned that in the book of Revelation, there are 7 seals. Now write this down. 7 seals. Let me see if I can break this down for you. Remember, there's sets of 7. 7 seals is considered like the long story. It's a long story. And how many of that? That's a long story.
Amen.
Communism, 1847. You know, we got all these things. Catholicism has been back since 325 AD. So this has been a long story. These seals have been open all these years, and most Christians don't even know.
Amen.
Isn't it a shame? Now, so the 7 seals are considered to be a long story, which will end up, because all of these will end up in the Battle of Armageddon. Then the kingdom of the world will become the kingdom of our Lord and Savior.
Amen.
Because end times is not about just the world coming to an end. End times is studying that the government of this world will one day lose and God's government will establish.
Amen.
Right? Then we have the 7 trumpets. Now the 7 trumpets are the shorter of the ones of the 7 sets of 7. They are shorter, but also end up in the Battle of Armageddon. Then you have the 7 vials. You spell vials just in case, V-I-L-S. V-I-A-L-S. Vials. The 7 vials are the real short stories, again, ending up in the Battle of Armageddon. Now, one of the things that's going to be really critical as we move through the study, again, is the end time Antichrist, which is spoken of. He's spoken in where? Revelation 17. And the government is painted red. Everybody say amen?
Amen.
That is telling us, watch this now, write this down. Say, here it comes. That is telling us that the one world government in the end of days is going to be socialism. Or communism. Now, are you reading the papers?
Amen.
Are you seeing what's happening?
Yes.
We're seeing it coming to pass right now. Watch this. A current Newsweek magazine wrote, "We are a socialist country now."
What?
Newsweek. Huh? You think Obamacare is right? You think that is? Look at why do you think all this thing about the veterans dying? Look, there's two ways of losing your life when you go join the military. Go to war and go to the VA hospital.
Come on now.
When I got back from Vietnam, I was exposed to Agent Orange. Remember? I had some bad stuff going on in my body. I didn't know what was going on. My lips would be swelling, and I was getting all kinds of stuff, rashes in my body. I didn't know what was going on. So I went to every doctor. Thank God I had good insurance. I worked for Procter & Gamble at that time. I went to the best specialist in New York. They couldn't find anything. They didn't know what it was. So finally I went to the VA house. When I moved to Florida, I went to the VA house. I thought maybe the weather, change of weather and getting out of New York with all the pollution and everything else would make it worse. So I left New York, came here, went to the VA hospital, man. It was like waiting time. I would have an appointment at 7 o'clock in the morning. They won't see me till 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And for me to set up an appointment, I will set up an appointment, let's say today. So if I was dying of something, it would be 3 weeks later, or 4 weeks later, or 6 weeks later. And then I had to wait all day. And then I had to look at all the other veterans that were there. And it's kind of a depressing thing. Because I was there, you see veterans, with limbs, with hardly no limbs. I mean, some of them were walking around talking to themselves, from the war. Come on, it was bad. It was depressing. I didn't want to go there. To me, it was like, look, I'm not knocking welfare, but if people that are sometimes in poor poverty places, when you go to a medical place and you see, things that are not looking good, things are not clean, it was just a bad place to be. All right? So, and the reason, again, the Veterans Administration, it's all about, we have good doctors in the administration. We have good nurses, good people. But it's not them, it's the way they run it.
Yes.
And guess who runs it? Government. Socialized medicine. Is socialized medicine any better in Cuba?
Nope.
Huh? Ask any Cuban. Huh? You die over there. It's not any better. There's going to be a lot of dying here too. So look at this. This Newsweek article said we are a socialist now. And there are many articles written right now about capitalism being dead.
Yes.
And free enterprise being dead.
Yes.
And moving into a watch this now, worldwide, global, socialist society. Everybody say amen.
Amen.
Now, I'm going to leave the last one. I'm just going to read it, but I'm not going to explain it. Because I'm 10 minutes old. Let's read it. Revelation 6:7. When the Lamb broke the fourth seal, I heard the fourth living being say, "Come!" I looked up and saw a horse whose color was pale green. Its rider was named Death, and his companion was Grave. Those two were giving authority over 1/4 of the earth to kill the sword of the famine and disease and wild animals. So we're going to look at the pale horse. Amen?
Amen.
Next Shabbat. Everybody say amen.
Amen.
and save the best for last. I don't have time to read it all. I'll take too much time to explain it. Okay? How many of you learned something tonight? Come on, give God praise. Amen? How many of you thought you were back to school? Come on, man.
Better.
Right?
Better.
Back in college again.
Better. Way better.
There will be a test next week. There will be a test. Amen? And if you fail the test, you won't make it to heaven. You guys say amen? And if you believe in pre-trib rapture and all that stuff, some of you, and some people are still believing in all that stuff, we're going to get into all that. The end time messages that I'm going to be sharing with you are, everything is going to be biblically proven. You're going to see this unveiled in your faith. You're going to say, man, it's been there all along. That's why you should read your Bible. Huh? Don't leave the... How many of you have a American Express? Leave that home and don't leave the Bible. Alright? Carry this with you wherever you go. Amen. 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 So we're going to take off with this next week. We're going to pray. And I want to pray today also. For this country too. Linda, matter of fact, I got a couple of videos. Let me, now at the end, now, I mean, you mind watching the video? Okay, I want you to watch something. If you can, if you can set that up. And also today we're going to do. Evelyn's been asking me, why don't we do the Aaronic prayer to a song? So we're going to do it to a song, okay? So we can learn it. I want you to learn it. Okay? And sometimes people, when you sing it, you pick it up easier. You know that. When you sing a song, you pick it up easier. But before she puts this up, let me just say this. This is what I believe God is doing. I believe this is the most critical place for the church today, for the body of Christ. Either two things are going to happen, and the Bible says, that many will be falling away. It says many will be called, few will be chosen. How many of you feel that you're the chosen? We want to be the chosen by faith. I want to be the chosen. I want to be the ones that God says, good and faithful servant to thee. Okay? Now you say, well, how about people that died in the past? And my grandmother was a great Christian, and she didn't believe in any of this, and she believed in Christ. She's in heaven. I say she's not in heaven. But what I'm saying is, that if you look at Matthew 5:17, he says, those that study and read the Torah and teach the Torah will be what? Greater in the kingdom. Not that you're going to be in the kingdom, you're going to be greater. Amen? I want to be greater in the kingdom. I just don't want to walk in there like sitting in the back watching everything go on. I want to be up front. I want to ask John the Revelator, hey, that's the holla. Holla, bro. Come on. I want to be there. You know what I mean? All right? And I want you to be there. And you are going to be in heaven. But again, when you study the Torah and you understand that you're going to be greater, and I believe the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe, not going to be people putting up Christmas trees.
That's right.
Or Easter bunnies. Or eating swine.
Amen.
Because God's not going to choose. God has to choose His own time to usher Him in. You see what I'm saying? So religion and all that stuff is out of the window. Out. And you're going to see what's going to play a major part at the end of the day.